How'd you get on for shooting at MLB? What is your current gear setup? How do you stay motivated during the long season? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? These are all great questions, guys and girls. As promised, like I promised on Instagram, I'm going to do another Q&A. So here it is. Let's get into the video. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. What is up? Welcome back. Pete here. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pete, videographer for Major League Baseball. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I did do a recent Q&A, little submissions on my Instagram story, just basically telling people to ask anything they possibly want. MLB related, videography related, my own life, my career, your career, any help needed. So that's what I'm gonna do in this video today. We're gonna get into it. I did a Q&A back in February, and this one's gonna be a little bit more in-depth, a little bit more updated. So I'm just gonna preface this by saying, I'm sorry if I don't get to your question. I'm gonna try and keep this video under 15 minutes. So let's start this off. First question, this one is from Matthew Stott. He works for UNC Wilmington, I do believe. He asked, what is your current gear setup for baseball, pre-game setup / during gameplay? So that's a pretty loaded question, Matthew. Basically, beginning part of the season, I used a Sony a7 III with a Canon 200-400, obviously with the Metabones. In game, pre-game, I would use my 17-28, what you're using or what you're watching on right now, with also like a 16-35 Canon and a 24-70 Canon and a 70-200 for pre-game. But in game, it's always the 200-400. But then halfway through the season, we wanted to emphasize more cinema cameras. So I started using the Canon C300 Mark II, which is a pretty solid camera. And then in postseason, we use Canon C70s, which is a fantastic camera. And we honestly, a lot of the time used 70-200s on those a lot. Get that really shallow depth of field with a speed booster down to 2. Next question is from Michael Sorello. Hope I'm pronouncing that last name correct. How'd you get on for shooting with MLB? Basically, I posted a video Georgia baseball opening day 2020. It was like late February. And my current boss, Lucas Stevenson, basically messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey Pete, what are your post-grad plans? And it kind of snowballed from there. Did a couple interviews, like an editing test, a dynamics test to like show if I knew how to set up lights and stuff like that. And then it all went from there. Obviously, the pandemic kind of altered how my job was, because you guys know I was hired for a month and then the pandemic hit. Very lucky that I got the job with MLB, and I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do. My buddy John Mullis asks, if you had to build an NFL franchise, are you taking Mahomes or Herbert? I'm a Chargers fan, so I'm gonna say Herbert, but if I was not a Chargers fan, I would probably say Mahomes. Matthew Grimes Media, shout out Matthew. He also works at MLB with me as the LCC in Atlanta. He asks, what is one sports event you would love to shoot? That's a great question. I think my dream job, what I would love to shoot, is English Premier League soccer, football, I suppose. That has always been top of my list. It's probably my favorite sport, notably Arsenal. You guys know that. Matthew also asked, what is it like being so ugly? I don't know, Matthew. You tell me. Robert Paul 39 asks, favorite player you covered this season? I don't know if I can say this specific name, but it is a outfielder from the Braves. You can probably narrow it down if you know the Braves roster. Merryman_30 asks, what is your favorite ballpark to film at? So I've only shot at Truist, Tropicana, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Dodger Stadium, and in Texas. So there's only 5 ballparks that I've shot at. I've obviously been to like probably 15. My favorite park to shoot at would probably just be the Braves. I'm a little biased. I love that park. And then probably Dodger Stadium. Favorite park to go to as a fan, though, is definitely Oriole Park at Camden Yards. I'm an Orioles fan, but like whatever. Louis J. Sienders asks, do MLB athletes ever reach out to you for work outside of the MLB season? No. That can happen, but no, not really. JP13 Visuals asks, recommendations to get better at editing. So this is kind of a 2-part question, or 2-part answer, I suppose. I'd say the best way to get better at editing is to just do repetition. Obviously make road trip vlogs, go out and film your local sports team. Just as many reps as you can with the camera, and then trying new techniques in camera and then putting that into your editing software. Try that. Reps are obviously the best thing as anything, right? You shoot 100 free throws, you're gonna get better if you do that every day. But the second part, and I think this is probably a bigger part of the answer, would be to kind of just stay up to date with current trends and find tutorials to watch on YouTube. Max Novak is someone who I watch quite a bit, and I get a lot of like little effects that I use in player videos from his YouTube tutorials. So I'd say the second part to that answer is stay up to date on trends, find random tutorials that you think might be cool to incorporate in your own edits, and do those over and over and over so you really get a handle on those types of effects in editing. Oh, and also know your keyboard shortcuts. That makes editing process a lot easier. Richie Visuals asks, do you always shoot vertically? I usually always shoot horizontally just because our content tends to go to a lot of different platforms, whether that be social, YouTube, TikTok, things like that. It has to be put in a lot of different places. So I really never shoot vertically. I do sometimes, but normally we always shoot horizontally. Shot by Kuso asks, how do you stay motivated during the long season? That's a great question. I think that's my favorite question in this entire lot. That is something we all struggle with, photographer, videographer. We all struggle with creative burnout throughout the year just because there's so many games. I'd say the most important thing is to, when you're not working, make sure you are not working. Don't just completely try and disconnect, delete your apps, turn off your notifications for your email, whatever it be, whatever helps you disconnect. Just create space between you and work, because when you're shooting that many games throughout a season, it's really important to try and stay as creatively fresh as you can. And other things that I like to do is like look for inspiration in other industries. So like whether that be like photojournalism, music videos, stuff like that, like innovative fields on the forefront can give you inspiration for things to try. Matthew Weiss, 34, asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know what he wants me to answer. He wants me to say LA or New York, which I think that is definitely a very big possibility. In 5 years, I'd say I want to be doing something similar to what I'm doing now, obviously with increased growth and other factors like that. But it's hard to answer that question because this field is so new. I don't know really what the next steps are for me. Obviously, I want to be higher on totem poles and stuff like that. I would probably say I'm definitely going to move in the next 5 years, and that's probably the only concrete answer I can give you. Billy Mulroy 1 asks, is it true you don't know how to use chopsticks? Yes, I can't use chopsticks to save my life. I'm ambidextrous. I write with my left hand, but I do everything else right-handed, so I really just don't know what hand to use because neither feels comfortable. Billy also asks, are you planning on running a marathon when you hit 3,000 subscribers? No. Should Drew get a haircut? No. Kidding, yes. Tyler Rover Media asks, biggest career goal? Tyler, I'd say my biggest career goal isn't like a specific career goal, I guess, because like I said earlier, it's so hard to like kind of put a tangible mark on where I'm going to be because this field is so new. My biggest career goal would just be to be happy in my profession, be content with creating what I want to create, going to the office every day and making it not feel like a job, because genuinely it doesn't feel like a job sometimes what I do right now. So I'd say keeping that kind of same vibe is very important to me. Dave.cr2 asks, what gear does MLB provide for you versus what are you expected to provide? It kind of goes on a case-to-case basis. If we have our own gear that is feasible to use, I'd say that works fine. Basically what happens is we're kind of asked what we absolutely need to do our job, and that's what's given to us. In my case, I needed a lens longer than, what I had at the time was like up to like a 70 or something. But I needed a longer lens obviously to shoot baseball, so I was sent a 200, 400, and obviously based on what our goals are, different gear is sent to us for different shoots and different, qualities of video and stuff like that. Marymon30 also asks how players contact you to do the edits. Basically, that goes through our MLB Player Social program. I've explained that before. Agents or players come to our team, and basically that is kind of how the content is facilitated in normal times. Not right now. M Foss Photos, my boy Matt Fossnot says, say something nice about the Steelers. They lost to the Chargers, but only by 4. I just classify that as nice. Larry Matt 02 asks, not really MLB or vlog related, but can I get a hoo-yah? Hoo-yah. Fish Visions ask, best filter recommendations for outdoor sports, baseball specifically. I don't know what you mean by filter, if that means like a LUT or like a ND filter. The ND filter I'm using right now is like an Amazon Basics one. It's great, but I guess comment down below and I'll answer your question. Explore the Power of the Mind asks, advice for us trying to get into the sports video team. I've answered this question a lot, but I'm gonna answer it one final time. If you wanna get into sports video, if you wanna get into any type of video, you're gonna need a portfolio or a reel. So my advice for anyone is to get a camera. If you can't afford a camera, use your iPhone and shoot as much as you can. Shoot vlogs, shoot family events, make a short film about Christmas, If you're doing something fun with your friends, make a vlog, and start that process of editing and shooting. Get it going, get it over and over and over. Reps are the most important thing, so you can nail down that process every one shot you get, that improves how you shoot in every single scenario. So you just got to start doing things for free, getting into it, shooting as much as you can. And then once you get that, then you got to start looking for paid stuff. Put together your reel when you feel like it is in a place where you're comfortable with it, and start applying it anywhere. College, stuff like that, your major, those things don't matter. It's the quality of your reel and obviously your character and your work ethic. You got to build up your reel first, and then you can get into it. Hope that answers your question. Calvin Mills asks, do the Braves have any videography/paid internships job openings coming up? I work for MLB. I'm not aware of what the Braves are planning on doing. They basically hire freelancers to do their work, and they use our stuff too. Max Gutierrez asks, Sony versus Canon. That's a really tough question for me, Max. I'd say if you're a beginner videographer, definitely choose Sony. There's cheaper options, and it's good at photo and video. So if you want to choose one of those routes, you can kind of plan that out. Canon lenses will always reign supreme to me. Canon lenses are way better. The focus rings are what make them better. The zooms are smoother. Everything is just smoother about them. They weigh less, But that's just my own personal opinion. I'd say Canon colors, once you get into video and photo, Canon probably is a little better. Just the color technology is better. Canon C70 right now is probably my favorite camera I've ever used. It's really your preference, but Sony to start. Anyways, thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe below. If you have any further questions, or I perhaps just didn't get to your question, answer it down below. There's probably a reason I didn't answer your question, whether it was asked twice or right now. Currently, I cannot answer your question in this video for other reasons. Ask me in the DMs on Instagram. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them, but thank y'all for watching. And like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Got a surprise question at the end here, post credits. An anonymous source asked if I would get cooked by Bloopy like Matt Ferracci did. If you're still here, comment down below what you think would happen. But I'm pretty sure I would cook both of them, honestly.